Hey guys, it's Elizabeth Morosco. I hope you are having a great day today. Today we're doing a little bit of a bonus training and we're spicing it up. We're doing it a little bit different. So if you notice throughout this workshop, I've started it with an intro video and a countdown video, and then we jump right into the lesson. Well, today I had a chance to do an interview with Jackie, who's the owner of CompuNinja, and a bunch of great information. You definitely need to watch the interview. But this is what I'm doing that's a little bit different is right now I am streaming on StreamYard, and I'm streaming to Facebook in a group, on a page, and on YouTube and on Periscope. So I'm in 4 different spots right now using just my camera on my computer. But what I'm going to show you is the interview that I had earlier. What I did was I took that interview, I downloaded it really quick. I added a couple little name titles and an intro music little clip, get that little funky beat going. And I uploaded it to Vimeo. And what we're going to do right now is a guinea pig. And for those of you that are here for the intro to this video, you'll kind of understand what we're doing. And it's a little bit different. Is I'm going to stream that pre-recorded video. And we recorded it today at 1 p.m. And right now it's 4 p.m. I'm live with you. You might watch this on the replay. And then it'll be like one of those window effects of a person inside of a person. So if you're watching me right now live, give me a hashtag live. And if it's on the replay, give me a replay. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's actually a beautiful day here in Grand Blanc, Michigan. I kind of angled my computer a little bit so you could look out the window and see. Look at all the pretty color. Isn't it nice? So sometimes I feel like I'm in a little bit of a tree fort. And that's a good thing because sometimes we get so consumed with our gadgets that we forget to pause and enjoy the beautiful things in life. And isn't that beautiful? It looks fake, but it's not. Anyhow, okay, so this is what we're going to do is I am going to act like I'm just starting this video, and you're going to see me launch a little countdown video, and then I'm going to launch a pre-recorded video of like the teaser, the time to beam teaser, and then I'm going to go right into this video that was live earlier today. It has some editing that is now housed in Vimeo. I've got it up there. So all of these are going to kind of just work together. And hopefully, I hope over this past week, you guys have learned some tips to help you grow your business. It's been exciting. And, you know, today was a bonus video. I'm going to come on tomorrow with another bonus video. Now, all of these videos are going to be available up through this week. On Thursday, we'll remove them and then put them in the Beam Members Library Archive. And if you're interested in really taking your business to this next level and to do a fast track to create a campaign that can help you connect with qualified leads, now's the perfect time to get involved with a Beam membership so that you can participate in group coaching to get an idea on tips, hacks, and insights specific to your business that can help you propel. So instead of just getting a bunch of training modules, this gives you a chance to actually work with somebody who has been working in marketing, that would be me, for a long time, along with my whole team. And it gives an extra set of eyes to look at the things that you're working on. And we even have an option for some of you that really want to fast track it on how we can work with you to help create some of the assets that you may need. But for this upcoming membership, we're running a promotion that I've never run before. Ordinarily, when I do digital marketing for my clients, we do retainers, like a quarterly retainer or monthly retainer, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just for commitment. But this is a new endeavor for us to bring the coaching in a virtual way. And it just seems to be a good fit for me to be able to share the knowledge that I have to help you propel. So instead of watching endless hours, not knowing what you're doing, or even like you tried to make the effort and then you get stuck in a rut and you don't know how to get out of it, having somebody that's working with you to navigate those waters can save you a lot of time, money, frustration, and headaches. And we're getting ready for the holiday season. So right now, it's perfect to work with a team that's going to help you create a campaign that's literally built, customized for your needs, and to create something that will help get you going through the whole holiday. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, hit me up in the comments below, or you can also send me a direct message. I'm going to leave in the comments the link that you can go to if you want to sign up now to work with us. And this special order is not going to be up. It's not going to be up forever. We're going to take a small amount of people through this first round. But the website that you can go to is elizabethmorosco.com/beam now. So what's the point of waiting? All right, you guys. So are you ready to do this little guinea pig with me? This is going to be a little bit of fun. So we're going to do the countdown, and then we're going to do a little teaser video, like the branding video, and then we're going to roll right in to the fun time and knowledge with Jackie. And he really does provide some great insight. So if you've had any problems with your computer crashing or getting glitzy, getting that pixelated look, or your audio is going in and out, you can't figure out what's wrong with my connection, he's going to give you some insight that you can use right now. All right. In the meantime, have a great day, guys. Here we go. You ready? All right. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth Morosco, and guess what? I have a special guest with you. This is Jackie with CompuNinjas, and we're going to be talking about something that is detrimental in the day and age of business that we're in, and that includes internet connection. Now, a lot of us are migrating to hosting our events online, doing meetings online, trying to make sales deals, trying to do 50 million things online. But the problem is sometimes we're pushing out more than our system can handle. So fortunately, we've got the pros that are going to teach us how to do it. And I'm going to tell you, I am a proven case story for this dude over here, because I was stumped for a very long time trying to figure out why I kept getting a scrambled connection or losing a connection. It had Comcast out at my house multiple times, and this went on for over a year. And then finally, lo and behold, I met Jackie. So Jackie, I'm so grateful that you came out to meet with us today online. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
So I'm just wondering, when you show up at your appointments, do you do like a Kia kick?
No.
I'm a kick it in the ear.
No, but what's today is, since we have the wearing masks and whatnot, wearing the mask kind of fits the completes the look of of a ninja. So
Right. Definitely. Well, I'm glad that you were able to come on here with us today. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you. For people that are doing all this streaming, recording live videos, uploading pre-recorded videos, all of this at once, what are some tips that you have for people?
So I mean, the first thing is knowing making sure that you have a system that can actually handle the work that you're trying to throw at it. So like if you're trying to do say simultaneous recording and streaming, then you're gonna want a system, of course, that's that can at least that can handle that, and then also your internet. Obviously, that's gonna be a big factor of streaming. Having a package that with your ISP that has a good good speed. So you know typically your providers such as like Comcast or Charter, those are usually the better ones to go with, mainly because you can get much faster speeds that way. AT&T is a bit capped when it comes to the download and upload speeds that you can get with that. But say, for instance, if you already have, say Comcast or Charter, and you're looking to try to, have, a good upload and download, or just a good experience with streaming. There's a couple things. So, like in your case, you had Comcast already, but where you're working, you weren't getting that good of a signal. So trying to understand, and see exactly where, like how your network is, laid out in relation to where you probably, your office is, your home office is. Sometimes you can't necessarily get an Ethernet cable to that direct spot without tearing into your walls and drilling a whole bunch of holes and whatnot. And I mean, there's apps, as far as Wi-Fi, you can see whether or not if the connection is going to be pretty good in that area to begin with. If you're like, hey, I have this room and I want to see if maybe my wireless connection is actually good enough to handle that. And there's some free apps that are out there on iOS and Android that you can actually install on your phone, and then kind of get an idea of, is my connection going to be weak here. And if it's not, then you can good to go. We're gonna do a couple of test runs. But if
Do you
you're
have a
having some issues,
suggestion for an app that somebody could use to find out that connection strength?
yeah. So there's an app. There's a couple like on the Play Store. There's one that I use called Wi-Fi Analyzer. I have their premium version on it. Unlock, gives me a little bit more options, more information. Also supports the developer. But there's a couple of different ones. I mean, you can mainly just go into the Google Play Store or the iOS, the App Store, and just type in, Wi-Fi Analyzer. There's a whole bunch of them that are out there that you can just install. And when you do it, it allows you to go ahead and look at both ranges, both the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz bands, to see, if you're trying to do, a wireless connection, if maybe it's congested. If there are a lot of networks in that area that are on the same channel, then you may run into some issues where the network will drop really quickly. And with streaming, then you're going to get a lot of freezing, a lot of pixelation, or it just doesn't really want to work at all.
Mhm.
um, so
And
there's
sometimes the interference can just be like something you can't even see, or sometimes it can be a brick wall. Like
correct.
sometimes you
So
can literally walk into your backyard and there's a dead spot.
yeah, so yeah, it really depends on the construction of the home. With thin drywall, not that big of a deal. We start looking at plaster, large objects. So if your router's in one room and then like two rooms over, even though it's not that far, but there's a lot of stuff. You have plaster walls. You have a lot of different things that are there in between. Your router and your device. Then that can definitely degrade the signal. Especially if you're trying to connect to the 5 gigahertz network.
Okay, so if somebody, let's say that they were streaming at home, they've got everything set up, but for some reason they keep dropping their signal, or it keeps coming up scratchy. What would be one of the next steps that they should do? They've done the troubleshooting to find out their Wi-Fi connection's not that great, and they can't move their computer,
Hmm.
because it's like stuck in that office at the house or whatever.
Hmm.
What would be like the next option? Like, what do you do to fix that?
So, I mean, if the wireless signal is, is weak, too weak to do what you're trying to do, and moving either device is not an option, then you have really two options to look at, which is one, run a dedicated line, to that room. Some homes it's really easy to do, and some homes it's a bit difficult. It just really depends. Are we in the same floor? Is there, that basement or crawl space that we can access? Of course, that's going to be a little bit more involved to go ahead and do. Take a little bit more time to run cabling. Um, and
And when
then,
you say cable, and you're talking about to do like an Ethernet connection.
yep. So
Okay.
yeah, so running an Ethernet line, through the walls to get where you need it to be. And then there's the other option, where we can do, like say power line. So we can use the actual your home's power lines to actually, to like as an Ethernet cable. So there's adapters that we can use. We plug one into an outlet next to the router, run an Ethernet cable into that. It will use your home's existing line of like wires to go ahead and transmit that signal. Then we can put the, wherever that room is, we can put, another adapter in the wall there. Whether it's just an adapter that has an Ethernet port, or two, or it can also be wireless. So you can have that ability to where it'll actually be like so it's like it's basically like adding another wireless access point into your into that office, but without having to actually run the cable. It's just as simple as plugging in one unit in next to the router, and then plugging in the other unit, syncing them both, and then we can then run an Ethernet cable directly to the system, or you can have wireless in that area where you couldn't have a strong signal before.
And that's what I think was the final solution that you helped me with, was that
Yep.
sort of setup.
Correct.
But prior to that, I had even purchased, the AT&T router expanders, like to expand the signal. I tried that; it didn't work. What was it that was different about the product that you used compared to like the AT&T store? Because it just didn't
So
work.
was it the one that they gave so you can like hotspot, using using their network?
I think it was to extend the signal, the Wi-Fi signal throughout the house. I put another one upstairs, and it just didn't
Okay.
work. And then finally, what you did worked.
Yeah. So depending on where you put put a repeater, in the home, there still could be, depending on the construction of the home, where you're trying to repeat a bad signal, so that, I mean, that could still be something there. Where when we're using the home's wiring, it's basically bringing it's like running in like a cable directly through all of that would have been, that would interfere with the wireless. So the signal is, if you put like a repeater in, say, upstairs, your router is downstairs, and if that's, if the signal can't really reach, through there, cleanly, then, I mean, wherever it's going to get repeated to, it's going to be kind of, kind of poor as well. But I mean, in some cases, a wireless repeater works. In some cases, power line, Ethernet is a whole lot better, because typically, the way that they run, completely different frequencies, when they're going through your home's power. So the power doesn't really affect it, like that. And then like I say, it's
That one of the other things that was kind of a cool bonus for our household also is we had a television that was set up and running off just the internet. We had cut cable, and we kept dropping the signal on that television to watch whatever we were watching, Netflix, Pluto, whatever. But you took one of those things, then added it onto the back of the television too.
correct.
And that, it's one of those things that you don't even think of, because your well, our TVs are operating in some ways like computers.
Yeah, and in that case, your router was literally not that far, from where the TV was.
It was
But
right by it.
yeah, but just the construction of of the walls there
Yeah,
was,
there's a massive fireplace that's all brick, and it wasn't having it. It wasn't having any of it. So, but we had a ninja in the house, tore it up. So that was kind of cool. I'm grateful you did that. That it was definitely something my whole family appreciated.
Mhm.
So with cell phone connections, like let's say that people were going to stream live from their cell phone, just go right into Facebook, nothing too fancy.
Mhm.
What are some things that they should look at? Is it better for them to stream from the Wi-Fi or directly from their phone or both? Or what do you
So
suggest?
in some cases, if your home Wi-Fi is not all that great, to begin with, then sometimes and your cellular is better. In some cases, it's better just to use a cellular connection. So disable Wi-Fi, and then go ahead and do it that way. Of course, that all depends on your data plan. So if you have, unlimited data, so like I have Verizon, I have unlimited data. In some cases, I will go ahead and just use cellular, instead of using Wi-Fi, mainly
What's
because
Sailor? I don't know what that is.
cellular, the cellular data.
Oh, cellular. Okay.
Yep.
You
So
sounded southern for a minute.
yep, no, yep, cellular data.
Cellular.
So your basically your phone's data plan. So
Gotcha.
if your cellular reception is pretty good, but say so like some people like they have AT&T,
Right.
AT&T they'll have like a 25 megabit download, and then their upload could be power anywhere from like 2 to 5, megabits per second. But if they had say, you know, AT&T, Verizon, for their cellular. In some cases, actually, your cellular connection can be much faster than what you actually have, at home. For
Isn't
some of
that
those people that have that.
crazy?
So,
Yeah.
mhm. So like I was doing a speed test on cellular on my phone the other day, and I was getting 70 megabits per second down. And a lot of people they still have slower internet speeds, than that, but that's what I'm getting on my phone. So it's like in some cases, depending on where I'm at, the Wi-Fi network there may actually be slower than what I would actually get, get on my phone.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy. It cracks me up during like the winter time in Michigan, as you're familiar. It's right
yep.
around the corner too. We get a lot of snow. Sometimes we get some really bad weather that will
Hmm.
knock out the internet or cable. But I find it hysterical that my little cell phone will still work, even
Yep.
like when the Comcast is out. So I think sometimes it's helpful too if you have access to connect through the internet through your phone. And there have been a couple times I've had to use my phone as a hotspot, but
Yep.
you can't really pull too much. It slows down pretty tremendously.
Yeah, I've had to do that here, even in my store at times whenever Comcast in the entire area has gone down. And then I'm like, oh, time to go ahead and I'll use my phone. So then I'll go ahead and turn on the hotspot there. And then all the devices like the desktops that don't have a wireless card, then I'm adding a USB wireless card so I can continue working on them. So yeah, and it the cellular definitely is something, and it's only gonna continue to get faster.
Right.
Um, and the biggest thing with that is that it's basically readily available wherever you go. Um, so definitely it's something that can help out, especially when your network around you may have gone down. Um, but yeah, like I said, looking back at it, it's like yes, cellular speeds are finally where in some cases, like I said, they're faster than what people are getting at home.
Right, right. And speaking of which, like speed and stuff like that, can you explain to the viewers the difference between like speed and like the bandwidth, how it's different?
Yeah. So basically you're down. So like say for instance, like you have a 100 megabit per second connection. Um, so the 100, so like with data plans. So when you buy, when you subscribe to say Comcast services, and you're like, hey, you're getting download speeds up to 100 megabits per second. Remember, so that's gonna be up to 100 megabits per second, not always 100 megabits per second. So that means it really depends on what's going on in your neighborhood, really. If a lot of people are using the internet at the same time you are, they're all downloading stuff at the same exact time. So if everybody's streaming, then you could be getting around 70 to 80, or even less than that. And as far as, bandwidth, basically, the best way to kind of look at it is like, whatever you have as far as your download speed. So if you have 100 megabits per second, if that's basically like what you have, that's max, the max rate as what can be transmitted to your device. So if you have a bunch of devices on the network that are all trying to access things, so say for instance they're trying to get, they're downloading at 25, megabits per second each. So then that's four devices. You may not get, that get those four devices to be able to get that 100 megabits per second. So each one actually may end up getting maybe 20, maybe 15, each. It just really depends on what you actually have as far as, available speed, that's available, that, that's there that you can use. Um, but you may not get that. The more devices you add, the more that's all taken up. So if you have a gamer in the house, and then you got, somebody that's trying to watch a movie, and that can definitely, be, that can drop the connection pretty quickly. There's some ways around that though. If you have a router that supports what's called quality of service, that will go ahead and balance, prioritize the what you have as far as your download and upload speed. So for instance, like in my house, I have three gamers. So myself, my wife, and my son. Actually four, because my youngest now, he's playing now.
Pulling
So
a lot, man. It's pulling a
we got
lot.
three. So we got three Xboxes that are usually running simultaneously. Then my son may be trying to watch something, or say
Sounds like
me and
my
my son are downloading, and then my youngest son, and my wife are trying to watch, stuff. Without quality of service, it doesn't know, which one to prioritize. So there could be some low priority device that could actually be, sucking up all the bandwidth, making it to where everything else is just pretty slow.
So your kid's watching the Smurfs, and then you're getting like the minimal.
Yeah, so like I'm playing, online, playing Halo, and I'm starting to lag. So everything starts to be like, stuttering. I'm bouncing all over the place, and it becomes a really bad thing. Or my wife's trying to watch something, and then she starts buffering. With quality of service, it'll say like, hey, this Xbox, just needs priority upload speed, because that's what we require for, for gaming.
That's really cool.
So like that.
First.
So yeah, it'll prioritize the upload speed for the Xbox, and then for the TV that's trying to download stuff, it will actually prioritize the download, for that, because Xbox only needs so much. So like, actually in my house, I actually have gigabit internet. So with quality of service set up, my Xbox will only get about 200 megabits per second, that it can really get to, because it doesn't want to go ahead and give it everything, because there's other devices that are trying to stream, as well. But then those devices will get really small upload, because you don't need much upload when it comes to, sending a command to say, hey, I want this video to watch. But when it comes to gaming, it's different. You have to have that upload, because that's data that all the information is coming from your Xbox, has to be really, really quick, going out to the server. But download is just mainly, commands, coming down from the server, but it's really what matters in gaming is going to be the upload speed. But
that device was called a priority what?
So it's an option in some routers called quality of service.
Oh, quality of service.
So like
Okay.
some of the routers, like the Netgear, Nighthawk routers, they'll have quality of service built in. It's not enabled by default. You have to actually go into the router's admin settings to go ahead and turn that on. And then even then, when you turn it on, it's not just, there's like a little like a list, a database that Netgear maintains, and will automatically try to prioritize devices. So by turning it on, you will notice that, like, hey, if I run speed test on my computer, it seems like it's running a little bit slower, for download. But that's because it's not allowing it to just grab everything. It's just saying, hey, you get some of it here, because there's other devices.
That's kind of cool. That way you can customize it to what's important to you. Yeah, that makes sense. So really,
have it as well.
Pardon me?
I was gonna say some other ones will have it as well. So like Asus makes some routers that have it. I haven't really messed around with Linksys lately too much. It's been really, I've really liked the Netgear routers and the way that their admin interface is. So they're really reliable. So I've been using those a lot. And then some of the TP-Link ones may have quality service. It just really depends on the model. That's something that you can definitely, look at. If they mention gaming, sometimes then most of the time they'll have the quality of service option, available.
What do you think takes more bandwidth and power, gaming or live streaming?
Well, like I said, with gaming is going to be primarily upload speed, and then your streaming. Well, I guess if you're like live streaming outward, so when it comes to like video streaming, so like right now where you're doing like a live stream, that would actually take a whole lot more than what it would be for gaming
Okay.
because you're actually transmitting
Makes
video,
sense.
video and audio.
Makes sense. So really to make sure you keep your connection and everything's smooth sailing, it sounds like the best thing is to pick an off time when not everybody in your neighborhood's online at like 9 p.m. or something.
Mhm.
And then also to make sure maybe you don't have everybody running all their devices if you're trying to do an important stream. And
Yeah.
then maybe look at one of those QS services, for the quality of your stream.
Yeah,
Um,
so like you like a router, a good router. So the routers that the ISP usually gives you doesn't have that option. So
okay.
if you're one of those,
When you say ISP, you meant internet service provider, right?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
So like Comcast Charter. If
Mhm.
you have, the modem router that they will give you, the little box, black
Yeah.
box that stands pretty tall, that won't have quality of service options, inside of it. So you're gonna want to look at, getting, your own router.
Okay.
Um, and then, so like I said, one of the ones that's, that I like using is going to be like the Netgear AC 1750 or the AC 1900.
Mhm.
Those routers have quality of service, on them. They're also pretty good for homes that have, multiple devices running, simultaneously. Um, and then they also have that quality of service option inside the admin settings that you can go ahead and enable. Because that's really basically, basically how that, how we make it at, in our household is I have that on. I deprioritize certain devices that don't need that much data. So like the tablets and phones, they get deprioritized, whereas the Xboxes and the TV will go ahead and get, prioritization. So
Mhm.
they'll get priority either download or upload depending on what they're doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then,
Makes
yeah, keep in
sense.
mind that is like during peak times, where most people are typically going to be online, you
Mhm.
know, your internet speed will be slower. And then you look at how many people are inside the house all accessing at the same time, then that of course can make it even slower.
It makes sense. Just like traffic driving home takes
Hmm.
longer, it's slower when there's a lot of traffic on it. And
Yep.
same thing with the internet. Yeah, I can understand that. But we just have gotten to this mode of we want it now and we don't want an interruption. But
Yep.
it's important to have the right tools to double check and also the right resources and connections to people like yourself.
Yep.
Now, do you do remote consulting that you can help people troubleshoot some of these things?
Yeah, so I do offer like remote support, where I can connect to you over the internet and
Mhm.
see what's going on with the PC, or I can also go in and connect remotely to be able to look at your router settings to see exactly what's going on there. So there's quite a bit stuff you can do remote. Some
Now, how
things are
can people get a hold of you?
say again.
You had a website and a phone number so
Oh, yep.
people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I haven't. So the website is going to be www.compuninjas.com. So CompuNinjas.com. And then also like my phone number is 810-771-8682. So like right now I am operating by appointment to try to keep keep the flow here in my store manageable so I can go through and sanitize between clients. But then also I did just recently hire a new employee, so that should free up a little bit more.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I can actually see how your business can thrive in this economy. But on top of it, not just because of the niche that you're in, but Jackie, you're very talented and
Thanks.
very professional. I was really impressed with the way that you came in and assessed everything, and
Mhm.
you just conducted yourself in a timely fashion, and you were really professional, and you stood out in my mind. So, as I was coming back, I thought I need to let some people that I know online that are having problems like I have um, get some of the information and wisdom that you have and know who you are. So I'm really grateful that you squeezed us in here because I know
Yeah.
that your schedule just gets crazy. So,
Yeah, it gets a bit busy, especially
mhm,
during now with everybody working from home and starting to focus. They're pulling laptops and desktops out the closet. Because before go to work, they have all the stuff. Now it's back at home, and then I was like, I got to get all this stuff going myself. So
right.
fortunately, company like mine, has actually thrived during this.
Yeah, and when you actually came out to my place, I think you came in, you made an assessment, and then it was like within a week and a half, you had everything set up, all the parts ordered, everything done. I literally didn't have to do anything other than I had to write you a check, but
Yeah.
it was a good check. In fact, I want to say to you, I have not lost my connection since you came and you did that.
That's good.
Seriously. And when you've gone through that cycle so many times and nothing's working, and you're
Hmm.
waiting for Comcast to come and you're waiting to see if
Yeah.
this new device works and it just doesn't work, it becomes you feel defeated.
Yeah.
And you gave me hope, Jackie. You gave me
That's good to
hope.
hear.
And I'm so grateful. And you're helping me do a better job. And I think that that's one of the keys with business owners is to realize there's going to be some things that are outside of your capacity, of
Yep.
your knowledge, and it's important to turn to professionals to get the help. And I'm a little bit of a techie geek. I think you and I talked about that. I like
Mhm.
to play around with technology and learn new software and even do some stuff with Wi-Fi. But in my case, I was at a roadblock. Actually, when I was at a brick wall that was literally blocking everything in
Yeah.
my house. But yeah, you came in with your ninja tricks and you cleaned it up. So if any of you are having a hard time and you just can't get past a roadblock, whether it's you keep losing your signal, reach out to somebody like Jackie. Don't be afraid
Mhm.
and don't be so frugal that you think that you're saving money by doing it a way that it's not working, because you're probably losing customers or losing your sanity or maybe a little bit
Yeah.
of both. But you definitely want to make
Mhm.
sure that you have the professionals. And I think that you are in the right industry at the right time. And if I can ever do anything for you, Jackie, let me know. I give you a great big kudos to you. You did
I
great.
greatly
Did
appreciate that.
great for my family, so I'm grateful.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, do you have any last pieces of advice you want to give to people as we swim through the treachery of going digital with our
Yeah,
businesses?
I mean, the biggest thing is, technology is, it can definitely be, something for a lot of people, new, it's even not even today, it's still kind of new, to use to try to deal with. The biggest thing is, don't get frustrated. Try as best, to not be as frustrated with it. There's sometimes, if there's something you don't know how to do, a quick YouTube, search, you may find what it is that you're looking for. Like, how do I do this? You can do that. On my website, I've been kind of bad about it lately because I've been swamped, but I was putting on like tips and things to look out for, um, how to do things. And then there's also one other thing that's been going on a lot lately is when it comes to security. There's a lot of scams that are going on, right now, trying to take advantage of the fact that everybody's starting to, be on the computers more often than they have before. Between the calls and the emails, and the emails definitely. There's a lot of phishing emails that are going out to where you'll get an email that looks like it's from eBay, Amazon, Netflix or something like that. Um, that says, hey, you need to change this. You need to update your account information. Before you click on that, that email, definitely check and look to see whether or not if it's legitimate. And the way you can do that, usually, if you if you have the email open up on, say you're on your phone, if you look at where it says the sender, usually they'll have like a little icon for where their avatar could be, their profile picture could be. But if you tap on that, and then if you look at it, it should say, whatever it is at Amazon.com, or at eBay.com or at Netflix.com. If it says some weird, long string or something else, but you don't see, it ends in that website, it is not legit. That's something that's been getting ridiculous lately.
It's a good point.
That's something to definitely look at.
Sometimes what I'll do too is like, even if I get a phone call from another organization, what I'll do is go directly, a phone call or an email, is I'll go directly to their website to find out versus going through a link that they sent me. Because they get so tricky that they put just like a little I in there that you don't catch, like one little alphabetic character that you don't catch, and it looks legit. And then before you know, they've got you. But it's actually a good point to bring up, especially right now. Yeah.
Because it was like a couple weeks ago, I actually almost fell for a PayPal one because I was making some purchases and starting to change some stuff. And then that email came up right away, that came up at that same time that I was doing it. And I was just like, oh, great, I forgot to, I was trialing something. That's what it was. I was trialing a VPN service, and I forgot to, I couldn't remember if I canceled the trial or not. And when I got that, it was like, oh yeah, this is going to renew, I'm going to renew or whatnot. And I was like, oh, I forgot to cancel that, and I went to go through and I was like, wait a second, and then I looked at the address, that was on there, and it was not it. So I was just like, oh yeah, definitely, like I almost fell for that myself. And it was like, because they do a good job of making sure that everything looks almost exact. But you really have to make sure that that web address actually, ends in that company's domain. So like I said, if it doesn't end in, Netflix.com, because it could be, sales dots, region one dot whatever, dot Netflix.com, that's fine. But if it's like Netflix dots, something else.com, that's not legitimate.
Netflix.org.
Yes, no. And if you ever get any of those emails, quick, like, oh yeah, your subscription is expiring, something like that, just go to Netflix.com or Amazon.com, log in, there, and then you'll know if there's something that's there, it'll pop up right in your face. So
that's a great point, Jackie. Yeah. So real quick, do you have a Facebook page?
CompuNinjas. So CompuNinjas. It's CompuNinjas.com. So CompuNinjas.com. Facebook.com/CompuNinjas as well. My phone number is 810-771-8682. And I'm open Monday through Friday right now from 10 to 6. I said by appointment, if you're planning on stopping by the store, just give us a call, and then, definitely see if we're in the store. If not, we can definitely make sure we, set time aside to meet you there.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on today. I know that you're super busy, and the fact that you made this a priority in your schedule just put you up on the notch a little bit higher. Didn't know it could go any higher. But yeah, you were the best, Jackie, and I do appreciate you. So all of you, thank you for tuning in. If you missed this, we're going to have it on the replay at 8 p.m. tonight. So you can keep a lookout for that and share it with your friends. But in the meantime, I wish all of you a ton of success. Keep doing your thing and do it in a way that you love it. It's right. Catch you later, guys. Bye.